Welcome to Content Supply Live, the show where we unpack what's happening in marketing and why it matters for your content. I'm Justine, and today we're going to talk about Meta's new AI move that could be a rival to ChatGPT. And then we're also going to talk about why good enough content isn't enough anymore. Kate's here with me, so let's dive into the topics. The first one is Meta's AI versus ChatGPT. Um, so if you aren't aware, Meta launched a new ChatGPT AI rival called Llama 3. It's now powering a ChatGPT style assistant integrated directly into Instagram, Messenger, WhatsApp, and Facebook. Basically, Meta AI is in like DM. It's in DMs. It lets the users ask questions, get recommendations, or generate text replies natively without leaving the app. Meta is betting big on the in-app utility, not just on chatbot novelty. So let's compare like these two platforms a little bit. So ChatGPT or OpenAI is a premium chatbot experience, whereas Llama or Meta is built into platforms people use daily, like Instagram and Facebook. ChatGPT is popular for research, writing, and coding, whereas Llama is focused on social interaction and content help. ChatGPT is a closed commercial model, whereas Llama is open source and flexible within the platform. So, Kate, I'm interested. What are your thoughts about this new Meta AI tool? I know that a couple other platforms like X has its own like AI tool as well. I believe it's called Gronk. But do you think that this could become a default assistant because it's embedded where people already are in these social platforms?
Short answer, no, I hate it. I literally hate Meta AI so much. And I'll tell you why. One, I see their approach to like, okay, AI is huge. We have ChatGPT. AI is just becoming more and more integrated into people's everyday life. Why not integrate it into our platform? And Meta is not the only company that's doing this. Like you said, Twitter is doing it. Even Apple, I think if you update your phone will like AI summarize your texts or give you
Yes.
like a prompt to respond. I don't know if I just like anytime that there's like a big change in technology, I feel like there's a lot of like the first reaction is people don't like it because they're not used to it. It's unfamiliar. And so your gut reaction just to like, oh, I hate it, move away. So maybe that's where I'm coming from. I'll acknowledge that bias. But I really don't like this. Like, I don't see, and maybe it will improve, but I really don't see how it's functional and how it's like aiding people in their use of Instagram and Facebook. And I don't see like any problems that it's solving. Um,
Mhm.
One thing that I really find annoying about it is when you go to the search bar of Instagram and Facebook and you type in um I don't know, peach cobbler recipe. Now it gives you this whole lengthy like paragraph of like a peach cobbler recipe that it's pulling together, and then you have to scroll a ton to like find or delete and research. Like it's just so frustrating. Or sometimes if you're like searching in your DMs, um like I just feel like the function of the ask AI or search, I wish that wasn't in the same search bar because I don't think it's super functional. Because you can type something in and it will ask AI instead of you were just trying to search it. So I I see where they're coming from with like integrating into the platform, but I just don't see a ton of users using this or talking about it. To me, it just feels like I feel like every company these days is like, trying to modernize with AI. And I feel like I'm sensing a lot of just like AI talk exhaustion. And it's not like we get it. Like I feel like there's so many, I don't know, when there's just like such a repeated message, like all of 2023, all of 2024, all of 2025, like it's not this cool hot new thing anymore. We get it. We know how to use it. I feel like a lot of people are used to using ChatGPT and it's not I don't think they need like Facebook's AI to like respond to a text. That's I don't know. To me, I just like don't see the function. So I'm a hater of it. Is my short answer. If you couldn't already tell.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like by integrating like AI into these like actual like social networking platforms, like on like with this Meta AI, on Twitter as well, and then even you mentioned like the Apple Intelligence. I've noticed that too. Like in my text, like I'll be texting someone, and then like the Apple AI will come up and be like, "Oh, would you like to respond to this person saying this?" I just feel like so many people are becoming so like reliant on these AI platforms, and it's kind of scary, honestly. Especially like how it's in like Messenger and like I mean your text messages on Apple. It's kind of scary to think about because it's like, oh, like do they not think that I can respond to my own text message? That's kind of how it like comes
Mhm.
across. But I mean, I'm sure that there's a lot of people that utilize it, and they're like, oh, like I don't know how to respond to this, or maybe they don't have the time to respond to a text message, so they want to use. Oh, hi, Brendan. We're just talking about the Meta's new open AI features within their platforms.
Dope, dope. Keep going. I'll follow. I'll just catch up.
Perfect. Sounds good. Yeah. So I just feel like so many people are reliant on like AI right now, especially like in these different platforms. So I feel like it'll be utilized a lot um, with different people, just like whether they don't want to respond to a messenger message or whatever, and they just want to like click one button and say like, oh, AI, respond to this for me. But I don't know. That's kind of my thoughts on it. I don't know, Brendan. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on this? Or Kate,
Eh,
you can
Oh,
go.
can I add? I see what you're
Yeah.
saying. I also feel like a part of the intention behind like creating meta AI, or at least it's branded this way, is oh, this is to like generate content ideas, or same thing with I think you called it Gronk for X. What a weird
Mhm.
name, but okay.
Yeah.
Um, let's help you write a tweet. I just feel like that is so not what is going to perform well. Like it's literally setting you up to fail. Like I think people think that AI is, and this can kind of like go into our next topic, but people think that AI is just like a one-stop shop. It's like a solution and it's going to like, totally revolutionize your content game. It's going to take away all of the time you have to spend strategizing. You don't have to think creatively anymore. But the problem is every single person on the planet now has access to that same tool. So it just levels up the playing field. And so I don't think that people are going to find a lot of success when they're using something like Meta AI or Gronk to like draft their tweets or draft their social media concepts. I think it just levels the playing field and then now you have to play at a higher level. So yeah, I know that kind of like goes into our next topic, but I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. When it comes to Meta, is not great with AI. You guys ever seen it in the search? You guys ever tried that?
Yes, we
It's a,
literally hate it. I
it's
literally
actually
hate
awful. It's
it.
genuinely.
It's
Maybe you guys already talked about that. I'm
I
going
don't
back to something
understand.
there, but
You're a
it's
billion
actually a
billionaire
really
company
really
and you can't
bad.
use it.
It's a very very bad. And so when it comes to like actually caring if um they're gonna do a decent job with AI, like it's so overdone. They all do the same thing. I hate to say it, like most AIs do the exact same thing. It's just whoever has a good wrapper on it. Like it's not. Um, I don't think it's going to compete much at all with OpenAI. And if it does, it'll just be because it's convenient. But the purpose behind it, like here's a use case that would be fine. Maybe you are writing a long, heartfelt post, but you just don't want to double check your grammar. Drop it in, fix my grammar. That's about the use I'm going to see of it, to be honest.
I agree, Brendan, except for when you're writing a long, heartfelt post, that's on a different side of Instagram than the like search thing. So I'm like,
Right.
that's why I'm just like so pissed. I'm like, I don't understand the
Wait, so is
functionality
there
of this.
wait, so is this functionality going to be like while I'm commenting on a thing, could I hit because I have this really
I
annoying
think so.
Google extension. I don't use it, but it's like whenever I'm typing something, it'll throw a little box underneath it. It's like use AI to fix this. I think it's Grammarly or
Mhm.
like one of those that I enjoy it, but it gets in the way half the time. So if they set up something like that, maybe where it's like while I'm
Yeah.
typing, it's like ask AI to fix this, and you can hit AI and you say, okay, fix the grammar, and then spits out something better, or add some
Mhm.
emojis to give us some flavor. Like that's
Mhm.
about the extent of it. Um, because you're still gonna have to go through and find a transcript to a video. You're still gonna have to go through,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like it's not gonna
Mhm.
add leverage it up too much in my mind. So that's kind of where my thoughts are. To be honest with you, it's not much to write home about. And for those that are super stoked on it, I think it's gonna be the silver bullet. Like you will be sorely disappointed. I'm like almost positive, to be honest.
I hope
So,
Meta doesn't see this and shadow ban us.
no, I think they do a good job, right? Like we love Zuck. We love Zuck a ton. He's our favorite, big fan. Mark Zuckerberg. We
Obsessed with
love.
you if you're watching, Mark.
Yes. Yep. He's a good
At
read.
Content Supply on Instagram, at Content Supply on Facebook.
Yeah,
You can find
he's
us.
yep. We love Zuck. So when it comes to, he had a good like redesign of his whole look too. So I don't know. They're going through a lot as a business, and so I think this is just one way they're going to try and like move forward, because they're probably going to have to divest one of their platforms pretty soon here. Kind of like how Google got hit with it during the antitrust. So both of them are hitting those like big lawsuits at the moment. So well, there's just like a last ditch effort to try and leverage some, like, oh, let's start another venture so we can bankroll that one for a while to keep things going. I don't know. It just feels like they're a little late to the game to launch a fresh AI LLM. Not that it's old news. It's not that old of news, but 2 years in tech's kind of a long time to
Mhm.
just barely get into it. But anyway,
Yeah, true.
I'm off my soapbox. No.
All right, so kind of related to this, let's talk about why good enough content isn't good enough anymore, and why playing it safe will cost you in 2025 in your content strategies. So we've already kind of talked about like AI tools and how they're flooding the internet with like all of this generic content. The real winners stand out with clarity, depth, and real perspective. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this. What content do you think is high worth, that will really rise above all of the other generic content that is out there right now?
Yeah, I would add, I like that you said like clarity, depth. I would add like authenticity. And then my biggest point that I want to drive home is longevity. Like, I think a lot of businesses, especially B2B brands, it's a very challenging thing to market because people are on social media oftentimes to release stress and socialize with people, have a laugh. So when you are a B2B brand and you're all of a sudden like infiltrating people's feeds with work related things, it just creates a big, hard, like it's just like a big hurdle to jump through. And I think what a lot of B2B marketers sometimes get wrong, or not even marketers, because I feel like marketers are smarter than this, but a lot of like B2B brand owners, what they sometimes get wrong is they want to like post all sales stuff, all like they hear social media, or at least in the past. Um, I don't know, like I would say 5 years ago, I feel like a lot of brands hopped on the bandwagon of getting a social media account. And back then the bar wasn't as high as it is now, because there was a lot less competition and it was just a newer thing for brands to have a social media presence. But now you're competing with so many more brands. So that's why I say longevity really is such an important thing to bring home, because there is no like quick wins when it comes to building your brand on social media. Like it has to be something that takes months and months and months and years and years and years, and it takes consistency, and it also takes being willing to put your like direct brand call outs and sales to the back burner, at least on your social media. Like it needs to be like around 20% of your content, and 80% needs to be like free value, entertainment, because that's what people see. So I feel like a lot of people don't realize that. I think like a good like gut check for someone who's trying to market their business on social media is go through your own, like set a 5 minute timer, scroll through your own feed and make a conscious note of what content you are consuming, and then go look at the reels you posted and say, okay, if I did not know myself, if I did not know this brand, how fastly would I scroll off this reel? The answer is probably so fast. So I think people when it comes to like, I don't know, good enough content isn't good enough anymore. Like it's just not. It takes a lot more effort and it takes a lot more time and it takes a lot more creativity. The good news is there's a lot of brands that are going to be like over reliant on AI. So your competition's, maybe not as fierce at the moment, or there's a lot of brands that put it on the back burner. But yeah, that is my biggest advice is know that it's going to take a long time to build and know that there's no like shortcut to creativity and be so honest with yourself when you're watching your own reels of if this is something that you would watch. And 90% of the time when you're first starting out, I don't think it is.
Yeah. There's multiple parts to it in my mind where you have there's a funny reel that I saw. This Timothy Chalamet's like where like stops for a while and says it doesn't. Right? You've seen that? He have you guys seen that meme at all? He's getting
I
interviewed on the red carpet. It's like, what are your thoughts on this? And he like leans in. He says it doesn't. So that's all he says in the reel. But the caption was, um, "Why is my AI-driven, boring content not performing well on social media?" And your average marketing manager says, "Because it doesn't. Like it will not perform if the only thing is like this really boring corporate gobbledygook. Like it's important to still just have something out there that's helpful. But I look at my LinkedIn feed sometimes, and it's got to be like a thoughtful conversation. You got to like, why are you actually sharing this? Why are you actually uh are you bringing anything to the conversation? Or are you just trying to sell me something? Like there's a difference between the approach. And so good enough, like I'm glad you're doing it, right? That's the most important thing. You got to like, if you don't have content out there, even if it's a small amount of eyeballs, like Gary Vee said, if you're posting on all the platforms multiple times a day, at least there's some sense that people are seeing things. You're building the brand that way. But that's just step one. Now that you've built the muscle, it's like, how do you make something and level it up and make it better? And we're still learning this internally, right? We're still figuring out what are the mixes of things that we're creating at Content Supply ourselves when we're marketing that are actually moving the needle for clients and what's actually being the most helpful. And we're adjusting and making those pivots based on data. And so every brand should be considering those things and not just expecting B2B content to do poorly. Because I have a buddy who just started making content for a separate B2B business, getting 100K views on YouTube videos right and left. So the bar can still be high, and we can set that bar high for everybody we work with and even ourselves. And it's important to present what you do and the help that you can provide to people in such a way that people want to consume it, that it has an entertainment value, it has interest, it has an educational value. And so take some time to I like the mental exercise that you're saying there, Kate, that you should take the time to like, would I actually watch the stuff I put out? If the answer is no, that's a problem. That's probably why it doesn't perform well. It's because it's got to be like, if it's funny to you, then that helps, right? I've noticed that with the stuff I do with my band on the side. If it's funny and it's like, it kind of shows your personality. People like that. That's what social's all about. Even if it's promoting a show, So there's a reason why comedians kill it on social, because there's entertainment. Their entire thing is the entertainment. There's a reason why influencers kill it on social, because it is entertainment in a way, right? To watch people like try on a new shirt or try on some new shoes or something, or go and make a dorky video in a hardware store if you're like Charlie Burns type. So it's still there's a new level. So I think if you can lean on humor as much as you can as a brand, I would go there as like your next natural step to progress. But anyway, that's enough on my thoughts there to level up to that next expectation. Is educational content is flooded everywhere. Everyone can do it, and you need to have that as like step one. It's leveraging what's actually gonna get the eyeballs. Is yeah, you got to touch entertainment rather than just education.
I love that. Yeah, thanks for sharing. So let's wrap up really quick. If you are listening to this and thinking, I know I need to be creating content, but I just don't have the time, you're not alone. At Content Supply, we help busy marketers and founders turn their ideas into high performing content without the need to write, edit, or manage it all themselves. If you're interested in this, um, click the link in the description below and we will connect with you. We'll get on a call and see what your marketing needs are. And that is, if you have any thoughts on the topics that we talked about today, Meta's AI, or just okay content, feel free to drop your comments or questions in the comments below. Subscribe to our channel and let us know what you want to us to talk about next time. All right, we will talk to you next time. Bye.